what is the absolute minimum that you could carry on your person when you're in a situation where you're out on your own? No vehicle and no support. Well, who better to look at than the Old West Cowboys? These guys would herd the volatile Texas Longhorn cattle from the south all the way up to the northern states, 1,000 miles or more across the country, with only their horse and whatever they could carry on them to keep them alive for half the year. These weren't the rootin' tootin' Yosemite Sam caricatures depicted in cartoons. The real bona fide cowboys were the ultimate survivors. Hard men, working hard months, facing bandits and hostile natives, all to earn cold hard cash for their efforts when they delivered thousands of heads of live longhorns for auction. Let's have a look into the saddlebag of a real-life cowboy. First things first, let's discuss all of the items that were wearable. Almost everything was made of leather: chaps, boots, hats, sleeping roll, and saddlebags, all of it. This is simply because leather was more durable. Now, today we have polyester and all sorts of synthetic fabrics that don't hold up nearly as well. If you really can't replicate your wearables to fit that ultra-durable leather, then at least go for canvas when you can. We're talking about a scenario where you'll be out in the open for months at a time, and for that, your sneakers and Hot Topic tees just aren't gonna hold up out there. Then there's the reality that this isn't the kind of situation where you can learn on the ground. You need to be able to hunt, make fire with the materials you have, know basic first aid, and be aware of what's edible in your immediate area. Not being able to forage for food when the hunt's been unsuccessful means that you'll have to curl up in your sleeping roll with an empty belly. So if you don't at least have a rudimentary knowledge of basic survival skills, get clued up, and fast. Number 1. Hat and bandana. The first items were always worn on the person's body: the hat and the bandana. Obviously, a good hat's going to protect you from sunstroke and bugs, but the bandana's a surprisingly versatile scrap of cloth that did a whole lot more than you'd think. Protecting the neck from the sun, a cover for their mouth from windstorms, or just a little buffer against the cold. It could be used to bind a wound in a pinch, or filter the worst of the particles out of water before boiling it clean. It also doubled as a cleaning cloth for implements and washing. And if need be, the bandana was hoisted on a pole as a signal flag. Number 2. Knife. In the Old West, no man, woman, or child was ever without a knife, for obvious reasons. But here we'd veer slightly off the hoofed path. We'd advise that you get the long-bladed utility knife, just like the herding men had sheathed to their belts. But go ahead and get a multi-tool too, like a Leatherman. They're much lighter to carry on your person, and they're infinitely useful. A multi-tool really is a no-brainer. Number 3. Firearm. Firearms are a multifaceted part of cowboy life, and almost none of them carried just one kind of weapon. The pistols were for dangerous people, and they acted as a blast item to herd cattle into a chosen direction, especially for the longhorn steers that could get spooked easily, causing them to veer off course. Thousands of heads of cattle would get so worked up that their bodies got so scorching hot from the stampede that they developed blisters on their skin from the heat. We're not even joking, these animals are extremely volatile, and the men needed that loud bang to get them back on track. The pistols were worn as a sidearm for immediate use. Rifles were strapped to the horse, or on the man's back, and they were there for hunting and taking care of predators. A few of the cowboys had shotguns if they could afford it, but for the most part, 2 weapons at a time was the limit to what they could carry. One for hunting, and the other for protection and herding purposes. Anything more than that, and the weight would be just too much to carry for a single man and his horse. Ammunition would predictably go alongside the firearms, but only as much as a man or a horse could carry without being overloaded. Number 4. Flint. It shouldn't come as a surprise that a flint stick and striker would be part of the package. Matches were available back then, and lots of guys did carry them, but flint is just so much more reliable in the long run. If you're caught out in the rain, or you just sweat too much, the matchbook in your pocket means nothing to you anymore. Nah, flint's the most long-lasting and durable fire starter to have on you. Seeing that we're about halfway through the video, our longtime viewers know what time it is, and the ones who keep putting off the inevitable are hopefully feeling a little guilty by now. To those of you who are subbed and who keep giving us suggestions and support in the comments, you guys friggin' rock. As for the rest of you that keep coming back without hitting that subscribe button, just get on it already. That's all I'm gonna say. This community is strong because we support each other. So don't lose out on that action and get on board today. Number 5, cookware. And now let's get cracking on to number 5 on the list, cookware. Cookware isn't optional, but luckily you didn't need anything all that complicated. Just a single cast iron pot was enough to boil water, cook beans, and to fry up some hard-won game that can't be spitted on a stick. Every man had his own plate, cup, spoon, and pot. No sharing. This isn't just for personal ownership. It's about hygiene, too. Number 6, canteen. Next up, we got the trusty canteen, and here we'd opt for more modern options. The old-timey canteens were nice and all, but today there are units with built-in filters and UV sticks to kill off viral pathogens for relatively cheap, too. They're lighter to carry and have more uses than the bulky steel canteens of old. Number 7, first aid. Basic first aid is another one of those no-brainers that you just need to have on you. The Yeehaw Bros didn't carry a full arsenal on them, just a small satchel with the necessary herbs to pack wounds or boil down to deal with fever, pain, and stomach problems. Maybe a sewing kit, too, that doubled as a tool to administer stitches for larger wounds. You know, the basics. The more serious injuries would be packed or splinted and then taken care of when they reached their supply wagon or the nearest town. Number 8, food. Since we're on the subject of supply wagons, this is a good time to bring up food. Normally, the dudes and chaps had a supply wagon that stayed a few miles ahead of them at all times. It was packed with enough food for a few months, as well as extras of all the other items that might wear out, like clothes, sleeping rolls, hats, pots, extra ammunition. Whatever they had on their person, there was a spare in that wagon. If something ran out, one of the lads would ride on ahead and pick up the necessary items. They'd also travel until they reached the wagon and camp out there for the night, so their sleeping rolls were stored there. If you were caught out in the open at night while looking for a straggler, the leather covering beneath your horse's saddle would double as a tent or a blanket. Now, today you'd be making use of caches or safe houses placed and planned for along the route. But for them, only the necessary beans, grains, dried fruit, and spices would be in their horse's pack, and only enough to last for about a week before they'd replenish their stores. Number 9, navigation. A compass and a map came next, and this was carried by each man in the party. Now, today we'd switch out the map for a sat phone or a battery-powered GPS device to keep you on course. They're just more reliable and won't tear or get soaked en route. Any person planning on being out in the wilderness for any amount of time would be a fool not to go without a sat phone anyways. Compasses are so small that they should be added to your pocket, even if the Garmin keeps track of the direction for you. If your batteries run out or your device malfunctions, at least you can still keep course. 10. Miscellaneous. And finally, we've come to the items that can only be described by the word miscellaneous. Obviously, there would be money, a few dollars to buy ammunition, tobacco, extra food or medical supplies as they passed by towns. Whips, lassos, spare ropes, and materials to make repairs were also among the smaller items. But most importantly, there was also reading materials, playing cards, and a journal. These items might seem arbitrary enough to leave behind when you're low on space, but we cannot stress enough how necessary it is to have entertainment on you while you're away on long extended periods of near isolation. Even with a half dozen people around, there are only so many stories to tell before you're sick of looking at the same faces day in and day out. Cabin fever is real, and it's a very dangerous thing. It's the mental break that can cause companions to kill each other over minor disputes, or for a man to lose his marbles completely, strip down naked, and run into the woods to get away from the boogeyman.
Oh, just a flying saucer. Excuse me, you can't park here. The parking area is over there.
Complete and total madness can be kept at bay with entertainments and small treats that remind you of times past. A good cup of coffee, maybe a piece of candy, a way to close off the long day with a reward for your perseverance. If you're preparing to spend any kind of time out on foot or horseback, the real cowboys of old are one of the biggest wells of information on how you can keep your pack and your worries as light as possible. They were out there for months at a time, working a job that no one else wanted to work, not because of the danger. The Wild West was full of that already. It was about the intense isolation and living off the bare necessities for months on end. They didn't just endure impossible conditions, they made an art of living simply, yet effectively. Take your lessons from the guys who have actually lived it. After all, eventually a life in the wilderness, constantly on the move, is gonna come for all of us. As always, this is Threat to Survival. Prepare today. Thrive tomorrow. Embrace the threat to survival.